I chose the topic of outdoor learning in kindergarten. I chose this topic because I think it is engaging, important for young children, and I wanted to learn more about outdoor learning. I've always had a fascination with the outdoors, and so does my little one. It's interesting that kindergarten is the only primary grade to actually incorporate outdoor learning into the curriculum. I think it's important for children to learn about the outdoor environment so children can learn how to respect, care, and appreciate it. We can teach children how to be future environmentalists in the process. I think as teachers, it's a task we should be doing, especially with the primary grades. As well, children spend relatively little time in natural environments, which contributes to obesity, attention disorders, and depression. Questions I'll be answering in this presentation include what's the importance of outdoor learning, outdoor safety, the types of learning enhanced by the outdoors, examples of outdoor activities, how can we include it into indigenous perspectives, what is loose parts and outside, and what is a resource to connect the outdoors with the indoors, and are there any assessment advantages to the outdoors? We live in a world full of electronic devices, scheduled activities, and some might not even have access to safe outdoor places to play. According to Stats Canada, children between the ages of 5 and 17 have about 3 hours of screen time per day, and the negative health impacts are rising. Children spend relatively little time in natural environments. There are many benefits to outdoor learning, which includes enhancing their health and future success. McCarthy 2018 and the Ministry of Education 2014 states there are crucial ways to playing outside helps children. The first, sunshine and well-being. Our bodies need vitamin D, and our bodies produce vitamin D with the help of sun exposure. It's crucial to many body processes, including bone development and our immune system. Sun exposure positively affects our mood and provides healthy sleep. Being outdoors allows children to explore the world with their bodies, minds, and senses. Outdoor activities designed to inspire investigation with their bodies, minds, and senses improves children's health and emotional well-being. Exercise and self-regulation. Children need at least 1 hour a day of activity, and going outside ensures this. The outdoors ensures children are not sedentary. Outdoor play contributes to a child's ability to concentrate, to self-regulate, enhances their overall health, and furthers their physical development. Physical play outdoors strengthens functioning in cognitive areas such as perception, attention, creative problem solving, and complex thinking, and provides an opportunity to practice independence, perseverance, self-control, and develop a sense of physical, emotional, and intellectual mastery and competence. The natural environment provides a calm environment which reduces stressors and increases a child's ability to self-regulate. Executive functioning allows children to develop their creativity, prioritizing, troubleshooting, negotiating, and multitasking skills. Children need time to be alone, play with other children, and create games. Being outdoors allows children to develop these skills. Taking risks. Children need to take some risks to develop their confidence and bravery to face life's inevitable risks. Socialization. Children need to learn how to share, cooperate, treat other people, and make new friends rather than being in a structured indoor setting. Appreciation of nature. Children need to learn to appreciate nature since the future of our planet depends on them. For example, if a child is growing up and not seeing animals in their habitat or going for a walk in the forest, they may not understand what there is to be lost. Research indicates connecting to the natural world contributes to children's mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health and well-being. If we provide daily opportunities to explore, care for, and interact with the natural world, this will strengthen these connections in children. Outdoor safety. In terms of outdoor safety, there's some things you can consider before you begin your instruction, which include the location of the outdoor classroom, boundaries, case of emergency, and routines and expectations. When determining the location of your outdoor classroom, you want it to be in an area that's separate from recess and away from other classes. In terms of boundaries, as a teacher, you want to ask yourself, how will I make the outdoor classroom boundaries visible to students? An example could be pylons. Reviewing this with students is crucial to students understanding the boundaries and expectations. In terms of case of emergency, teaching a signal and student procedure is a great way to keep children safe. For example, one could blow a whistle 3 times, which can prompt students to move directly to their gathering area. Bringing medical equipment outside, such as EpiPens and first aid equipment, also ensures the safety of the children. Taking children's medical conditions into consideration must be made when planning for the outdoors. In addition, having a walkie-talkie to communicate with other teachers and the office is important in case you need further assistance when outdoors. Routines and expectations. Some considerations include expectations for the bathroom, using materials, moving about the outdoor classroom, and cleaning up. We need to consider whether students have appropriate outdoor protection, such as sunscreen, hats, rain gear, etc. when they go outside. Great way to do this is to construct with students at the beginning of the year what are some things we need to do we need before we go outside. As a class, you can make a list together. A great idea to consider taking great idea is to consider taking small groups of students for outdoor learning in the beginning of the year to teach and practice these routines and expectations and safety precautions. If your school has more than one kindergarten classroom, consider using a different colored penny to identify your class from the others. And please visit your board's own website for their outdoor safety as well. There are many benefits to learning outside, which includes enhanced learning. The types of learning enhanced by the outdoors includes gross motor skills. For example, playing outdoors provides a chance to play active games, which could include using hula hoops, balls, and skipping ropes. Communication, children have opportunity to develop their communication skills with their peers in the privacy of the outdoors. Challenging behaviors are reduced, and educators can focus more fully on observing, interacting, and extending children's learning and development in meaningful ways. Sensory, the outdoors provides hands-on learning in a natural environment, which stimulates children's senses through what they hear, feel, touch, and see. Problem solving and innovating. For example, in science, we can notice, investigate, experiment, and hypothesize outdoors. Environmental stewardship, learning about the environment and stewardship, aligning with the Ministry of Education's 2014 goals of promoting learning about environmental issues and solutions, engaging students to participate actively in practicing and promoting environmental stewardship, both in the school and in the community, providing leadership by implementing and promoting responsible environmental practices throughout the education system so that staff, parents, and community members and children become dedicated to living more sustainably. Dramatic play. There are multiple areas outside for diverse types of dramatic play where students can experiment with their voices and movement. Creativity, for example, in art, students can use different materials, surfaces, sizes, and natural materials. Examples of outdoor activities can include following a trail. It's a great way for children to get active, explore, ask questions, and discover. Observing plants and wildlife, living creatures, and plants and trees can begin to teach biodiversity. Explore a park. This could be something as simple as a park in your school's community. Children can stop and count all the living creatures, listen to the different animal sounds, or stop and have a read aloud under a tree about nature. Build a fort. Students can build forts with whatever they can find for animals or themselves. They can use any natural materials they would like to include sticks or snow. Forts nurture imagination and adventure. Students can work together as a team to create them as well. They can provide a place of solitude. Harvest something to eat. As a class, there are many things we can grow. For example, try growing tomatoes together. Students can also go to an apple orchard and harvest apples in an orchard. Play in the snow. Students can build a snow angel, toboggan, wonder about snowflakes, and learn about winter sports. Read alouds outside are also a great idea, even though there might be snow on the ground. Visit a farm. There are lots of farms in Ontario that have various educational programs based off the Ministry of Education's curriculum. Students can feed an animal, pick fruit, and learn how food grows and gets to the table. You can create an outdoor adventure. The possibilities are endless. Students can use their imagination outdoors and invent games, pretend they are a forest animal or an adventurous explorer. Students can create their own stories outdoors. Nature trails. Nature trails can provide places for numerous activities such as spots for reading, group gatherings, nature study, and explorations of large areas, which could include on the school grounds and that don't interfere with active play zones. Trails can also be used for winter activities such as snowshoeing and cross-country skiing. What's interesting about outdoor learning are read-alouds. Read-alouds provide a great way to introduce inquiry projects, and it can be used as a starting point for environmental stewardship and the development of inquiry skills like noticing, asking questions, and carrying out explorations. There are many great books about nature and the outdoors. I'd like to provide a few examples I found on the Curious Kindergarten blog, which are great. These books highlight important messages about being in nature and can provoke questions for learning. The first is Step Gently Out by Helen Frost and Rick Leader. The book is laden with beautiful photography and lyrical text, and the message of this text is to be gentle and careful with nature. Second book, Quiet in the Garden by Ali Key. The main character in this book talks about how to be still and quiet in the garden, and by doing so, it allows you to notice things in your surroundings. The message of this book teaches children the importance of being still in nature, looking closely at our surroundings, and making observations. Nature's Spy, written by Shelley Rotner and Ken Kressler, with photographs by Shelley Rotner. This book teaches children to be spies, nature spies. In the book, there are photographs with zoomed-in images, creating an opportunity for children to make their own observations during the read aloud and asking great questions. We're Going on a Nature Hunt by Stephen Metzger. Several scenarios are presented about what one might encounter on a nature hunt, and in each one there's a message to be gentle and kind to nature. This is a great book to teach about point of view, and the overall message of this book is that children need to respect nature. For example, in the book, The children observe a frog. It's a slippery frog. Look at the frog jump and swim, but don't scare it. In Gummy Toes by Sean Cassidy, it's told by the point of view of a frog. It's about a tree frog who wants to be noticed and admired, but he finds himself captured by a group of children and kept as a pet. All he wants to do is to be back into his natural environment. This book is great for teaching children about the importance of returning creatures back into their natural habitat. In The Curious Garden by Peter Brown, it provides an example of how one person can make a difference in the world. The message of the story is about the power of humor and action and the importance of taking care of our environment, which is great for developing environmental stewardship. We must be inclusive of the Indigenous perspectives into our program planning. Traditional teachings by elders, invited speakers, daily morning circle, talking circles, harvesting, shelter building, daily reflection, ceremonies, traditional land-based practices, stories, or teachings about the environment and the Anishinaabe worldview are great ways to honor Indigenous peoples. The following are the fundamental principles of Indigenous education. 1. Learning ultimately supports the well-being of the self, the family, the community, the land, the spirits, and the ancestors. 2. Learning is holistic, reflexive, experiential, and relational, focused on connectedness, on reciprocal relationships, and a sense of place. 3. Learning involves recognizing the consequences of one's actions. Bringing Indigenous peoples' environmental traditions into the classroom as contemporary ways of connecting with place enable children to develop relationships with the natural world that can enhance their sense of belonging and contributing. Play and interactions in nature develop creativity, problem solving, and intellectual development in children. Questions that teachers can pose to help children with their inquiries outdoors include: how do you think a tree knows it's spring? What are your thoughts about why a tree loses its leaves in the fall? And there are many other great questions in the Ministry of Education's document that you can take a look at, the kindergarten document. Natural curiosity is also a great resource for inquiry-based teaching, as it provides a framework for environmental inquiry and provides options for bringing inquiry-based practices into the classroom. And Inspired by Play is also a great blog with outdoor learning and inquiry activities. Being outside develops creativity, increases a child's ability to pay attention, and stimulates mental engagement. Children need access to different materials, resources, and experiences that can provide different ways for them to demonstrate their thinking and learning. Art provides children with a way to explore and express their thoughts and feelings. In addition to doing science lessons, nature activities, and active play outdoors, we can take art outside too. Art projects can demand a lot of space and be quite messy, so why not take it outdoors where you don't have to worry about getting paint on the floor? Further, being outdoors gives children an opportunity to integrate the natural world into their artwork, and as teachers, we can incorporate important lessons about the environment too. Students can also work with materials they're unfamiliar with, which could include found objects that can encourage curiosity about their natural world. If there are sculptures in the community, why not sketch them with your class or create some sculptures so children can become more aware of the art in the community? Dr. Suzuki, 2011, suggests that we connect learning opportunities to places in the community. Children realize that learning is possible beyond the classroom. Children are strong and capable learners. Nature in the community can be your canvas. Incorporating nature into art helps children appreciate the environment, and retain science and ecology lessons. Doing art outside makes it more exciting and provides an opportunity for integrating other lessons into an art project. What is loose parts? Loose parts are materials that can be moved, carried, combined, redesigned, lined up, taken apart, and put back together in multiple ways. In the outdoors, loose parts can be natural or synthetic. In an outdoor environment, loose parts to be used in play could be stones, stumps, sands, gravel. You get the idea, but this list is not exhaustive. It's very natural materials that I have listed here. The materials have no specific set of instructions or directions to be used and can be used alone or combined with other materials. The benefits of loose parts allows children to use the materials as they choose, to be creative, to use their imagination, develop skill and competence, show an appreciation for nature, and get parents involved with play by donating loose parts. In fact, children prefer loose parts rather than expensive toys. Children thrive in outdoor spaces that invite them to investigate, imagine, think, create, problem solve, and solve problems, and make meaning from their experiences, especially when the spaces contain interesting and complex, open-ended materials that children can use in many ways. So, resource to connect the indoors with the outdoors. A great resource is the Wonder Wagon. The Wonder Wagon is a portable resource for outdoor learning for all seasons. It promotes outdoor exploration and has materials and supplies which can promote spontaneous and planned lessons. It should have a variety of materials such as clipboards, pencils, magnifying glasses, string, and one can create seasonal bins for specific seasonal items. For example, one can have a specimen viewer for bug collections in the fall and spring, and mittens and shovels for the winter. The Wonder Wagon allows you to take the inside out and the outside indoors. It provides for an easy transition from the indoor classroom to the outdoor classroom and develops learning opportunities for students using the 4 frames. When using the Wonder Wagon, it is advantageous to use it with small groups to accommodate inquiry interests. Assessment advantage. Teachers gather information about student learning using a variety of assessment strategies. We triangulate data using observations, student-teacher conversations, and student products to gather information about student learning. We design tasks that provide students with a variety of ways to demonstrate their learning, observe students as they perform tasks, pose questions to help students make their thinking explicit, and engineer classroom and small group conversations that encourage students to articulate what they are thinking and further develop their thinking. Providing outdoor learning experiences is instrumental to gathering this information. Outdoor learning actually increases the variety of assessment opportunities and increases sources of evidence for assessment. Outdoor learning environment elicits questions from students that will help them to express their learning, and teachers will have to do less engineering of conversation in the outdoor classroom as the new and diverse surroundings naturally engage students in conversation. In conclusion, outdoor learning is important for all 4 frames of learning, which are important for early years development in areas of learning that are used to structure thinking about learning and assessment. As the kindergarten document states, experiences which allow children to appreciate and understand the value of fresh air and outdoor experiences, outdoor spaces, the environmental benefits of active transportation, walking and biking, the environmental implications of various food choices, the impact of using trails, and the health risks associated with exposure to direct sunlight and air pollution are all components of environmental education that can be integrated with learning in the kindergarten program. To help make these connections, outdoor education must be an important part of our learning environment, which helps children observe, explore, and appreciate nature. The Ministry of Education in 2016 reminds educators we should ensure that children have extended interactions with the natural world, engage children in endeavors designed to appropriately enhance or restore land and place, and support children's inquiries involving natural materials and promote their use of various resources to further learning about the natural world. Lastly, outdoor learning increases the child's ecological identity and a child's capacity to make connections with the world around them, to ultimately become environmentally responsible citizens. Thank you so much for listening.